Okay, hi folks. I was hoping that a few of you would show up, but I guess not. So I'm gonna do a very brief review. Some of the questions that you will see on the makeup exam will be very similar to the questions on the original test. So if there's an increase in spending, whether it's government spending, private spending, investment, or foreign spending, it doesn't matter. Any increase in government spending or investment, let's say, is going to get multiplied by the multiplier times the spending multiplier. And that's going to result in a change in the GDP. Hi, Sylvia. Sylvia, can you hear me? Maybe you can't. Okay, so in test number 2, you had a question where it said that the economy saves 20%. Well, what they gave you was the MPS. So you know with the multiplier, because the multiplier, you can calculate it either 1 divided by MPS or 1 divided by 1 minus MPC is the same thing. Because if the MPS is 0.2, you get 1 divided by 0.2, which is equal to 5. So if the increase in government spending or investment is $1 million, the GDP will increase by $5 million because it's 1 times 5. If the increase in GDP is $2 million, then the increase in GDP, the increase in G is 2 million, then times 5 is going to be 10 million, and so on. Hi, Sylvia. Can you hear me, Sylvia?
Hi, yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, so I was until now all by myself, so I was doing a little bit of review by myself. But if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me. Just name me the question and I'll go over it.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh. So folks, you will see investment goes up by 100,000. And let's say that I give you the MPC. The MPC is equal to 0.75. How much does the GDP increase? Well, the answer is you need a multiplier. So you're going to use this formula. 1 divided by 1 minus 0.75 equals 1 divided by 0.25, which is equal to 4. So 100,000 times 4 equal 400,000. Okay. Now, also there was a question yesterday when I did a review, but I forgot to tape it, about when's an inflationary gap. An inflationary gap is when the intersection of short-run aggregate supply and aggregate demand takes place beyond full employment. So an inflationary gap is when we are actually operating, when the economy is operating beyond full employment, above full employment. Remember, long-run aggregate supply curve tells us where the economy is at full employment. So if the intersection of short-run aggregate supply and aggregate demand takes place beyond full employment, we have an inflationary gap. If it takes place below full employment, we have a recessionary gap. In that, the other case is the opposite. We have a recession. And then what we're trying to do is when we have a recession, we're trying to create more demand for goods and services. And that's going to happen by increasing spending, government spending, or the government gives us a tax break. So fiscal policy is about government spending and taxes, changing of spending or changing in taxes. So if you see a question where it says that raise the interest rates or lower the interest rates. That's not the right answer. That's not fiscal policy. So don't go into that. You can eliminate that answer right away. If it says anything about money, increasing the money supply, decreasing, no, that's not fiscal policy. Fiscal policy is changes in government spending and changes in taxes. Hi, Marisol.
Hi, Professor.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good, good. How you doing?
Good. Working, so, but I am here.
Okay.
I don't know if I am interrupted something.
No. So I'm taping all this so I can post some sort of a review. Sylvia, any questions? Just name a problem, and I have here a tablet, and I have the test in front of me. So if you have a question, Sylvia or Marisol, any of you.
No, I did very well on the test. I have 100, finally.
Oh, then what the heck are you doing here?
No, I want to talk about my research papers.
Oh, let me just take care of this thing, and then we can get off of the tape, and we can talk about the research paper. Just 5 more minutes. Okay, so then there was a question about if MPC decreases or increases, what happens to the multiplier? Just give yourself an example. Change the MPC. MPC is 0.9, you're gonna see that the multiplier is 10. MPC is equal 0.5, the multiplier is 2. So you see that if the MPC decreases, then the multiplier also decreases. You may see a question about the crowding out effect. What is crowding out? Well, basically crowding out effect says increases in government spending are offset by decreases in the private spending. So basically those are things that are making like crowding out effect, like open economy effect. They are making fiscal policy not very effective, okay? Because you have increases in the public spending, but associated with those increases in the public spending, you're going to have decreases either in the private spending from businesses, from us, or from foreigners. The open economy effect has to do with trade, with foreigners. Foreigners are buying less from us. Okay. There may be a question about time lags. Again, what makes fiscal policy not so effective? Well, it takes a long time for fiscal policy to actually get implemented. How come? Because we have those time lags, the recognition, the implementation, and the effect time lag, the action, not the implementation, the action time lag. Automatic stabilizers. What are those automatic stabilizers? Well, they stabilize the economy. They make the ups and downs not quite as prevalent. So they attenuate the ups and downs. They make them smoother. They make the economy smoother. And they do not require the action of Congress. Nobody has to intervene. They take place automatically. Examples would be the unemployment compensation, because it takes money away. You actually pay into unemployment compensation when you are working. So it takes money away when times are good. But then when you lose the job, when the economy goes into a recession, people lose their jobs, that's when money is paid back in. And another example was progressive tax system. Higher income, higher marginal tax rates, lower income, lower marginal tax rates. Okay. Keynesian versus classical economics. Keynesian, they want government intervention. They believe that the economy can get stuck with unemployment. because wages are not adjusting downwards. So they are sticky downwards. Classical economics, they believe that wages and prices are fully flexible, so they adjust immediately. So if the economy slips into a recession, wages will drop and firms will have reasons to hire workers. Okay. Classical is the laissez-faire, leave it alone economy. They have that the aggregate supply curve is vertical, and any changes in aggregate demand do not impact the economy. They only impact prices. On the other hand, in the Keynesian model, the supply curve is horizontal. So any changes in aggregate demand will definitely impact the economy and will not impact the price level. So that's why changes in aggregate demand in the Keynesian model are necessary to get the economy going. Yes, Sylvia, any questions, any from the test?
No, I think I did it on the test. I'm just kind of here for review.
Okay, yeah, again, let me just say one more thing about taking the makeup exam. If you take the makeup exam, don't worry, it's not the average, it's the higher of the two grades. I know that Canvas, for some reason, doesn't average. Well, don't worry, I have access to the first grade and to the makeup exam, and when I do the grades, I'm only taking into account the higher of the two.
Okay, for the makeup exam, do we have to get, for the first test, I know that I took it, but then it gave me like a 0 for the makeup. So is that necessary or optional?
No, it's optional. It's optional. So let's say you get a 92, and I don't even know why they gave you. Did you take the makeup exam and you didn't do anything, or because if you would not open the makeup exam, there shouldn't be a grade.
Oh no, I didn't take it. It just says that it's missing points on Canvas.
Yeah, just disregard because it's the higher of the two. So yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so I'm gonna stop this here and then